Hey, all right. So I am now on the line with a Mr. and Miss Karl and Nima. You all are international urban kids dancers and instructors. Karl, you are from France, and Nima, you are from Germany. Is that right?
Yeah.
Hey, shoot. I want to thank y'all so much for taking time actually to talk to me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Of course, of course. Hey, so I normally how I start this out, I really like to hear about your childhoods growing up. So either one of you all can start. Tell me about, your childhood growing up in France or your childhood growing up in Germany. Tell me about that.
The childhood.
Yes, sir.
You want to start?
Oh, you can start.
Why I always start? So normally it's the ladies first. Okay, so I grew up. I'm born in France, and I grew up there. I always have been in kind of a music area, like in a music mood since I'm a child. I really like to play instruments, to dance since I'm a child, to sing, to all the stuff who touch the music. I don't say I'm a singer. I just say that since I'm a child, I'm always around the music to do stuff with the music. It can be dancing, it can be creating beats. Also, because when I was younger, I was doing this too.
Can you play guitar?
I can play guitar too, drums. So I always have been connected with the music. And I started also a bit of hip hop when I was a teenager, but I didn't go so far. I was just doing some few classes per week, but I was too young to really understand, to really enjoy it completely. Then I stopped completely, and then I came back with the Kizomba 4 years ago now.
2018.
2018, yes, almost 4 years.
And what about you, Nima? What was your childhood like growing up in Germany?
So about me, actually me too, I was always into dance, but it was more like the hip hop dances. So I started already from the beginning with hip hop dances, hip hop classes. And I think I went like every weekend to dance. So I really loved it. But then later I came into this world from the partner dance. So I saw it sometimes and I was like, what is this? Maybe I have to try this. And then I started with bachata first, and then came salsa. So I was really happy already with that. And later, also on a random party, I saw a Kizomba floor, and a guy asked me if you want to try to dance Kizomba, and I was like, no, what is this? I don't know. So and then I just started, and of course it was a mess, but then he introduced me to a Kizomba teacher who was really good from Hamburg. And yeah, then I took my first Kizomba lessons, and after I felt like my level needs more, how to say, I need more input. Then I just went by myself to parties, and that's how I went into this Kizomba world step by step.
Okay, I'm curious. How big of an impact does hip hop have in Germany? Or is hip hop popular in Germany? Or yeah, Germany.
Yeah, we have a lot of contests actually, a lot of hip hop parties, like, and really good ones, I have to say. So that's why I was really often as well. So yeah, I think it's everywhere in Germany. I was in Hamburg and Berlin most of the time, but I think it's like everywhere in Germany, like famous, and yeah, it's very good dancers we have, I have to say.
Okay, for sure. I'm curious, Karl, if I can ask you, man. I don't know how to word this proper, man, but can I ask, where are your parents from?
My parents from, so my dad is from Congo.
Okay.
And my mom is from Ivory Coast.
Okay, big bro. I definitely understand that, man. So let me ask you this then. You kind of already transitioned into the Kizomba. So let me ask you this. I'm very curious to hear from you both. Tell me about your beginner stage in learning Kizomba. What was that like for you?
So start.
What was that for me? Like how I felt?
However you want to take it. I'm very curious. Everyone has their own beginner way, what I'm saying. Tell me about your struggles. Tell me about, what you enjoyed, what you hated. So just talk to me about it.
So of course, what took me into this world, I can say, because it's really a small world, the music, of course. From the beginning, I was in love with the music. I never heard this kind of music, but I was completely into it. So at the beginning, even before I started dancing, I was already listening then to this music. The first time when I saw the dance, I was listening to the music. So I got into this music and I was already totally in love. And then I went to my first classes and it was hard at the beginning, of course, because I was telling to myself, I would be never able to do the steps. When I saw all the famous dancers and how they dance and what they do, it was like impossible. How you can do that without knowing the step? It's like, it looks like a choreo for me. But then later, when I started the basics and everything, for me, for my experience, I felt that I leveled up very fast. So I learned very fast and it became very simple for me in a faster way than for other people. So that's also the thing why I stopped then after, I think 1.5 months, I took intensively every week Kizomba basics lessons, beginners. And then when I had the point where I was like, there was no input anymore. I need more because it's always the same. And I felt like safe already. Then I went to the first party in the Netherlands, because there it's also a very big scene of Kizomba, Urban Kiz, more Urban Kiz than Kizomba. And this is also a thing, Urban Kiz touched me much more than Kizomba, because Kizomba is like more the traditional and the music is also not that. It can be nice. I also like a lot of Kizomba songs, but more Urban Kiz, like the hip hop, electronic stuff. It touched me more. And I found myself in this more. So I went to my first party and it was first a flash for me, of course, because it was so different than normal parties, what I know. So everybody was just searching for a partner and the girls was waiting all the time and on the round. I was like, what? They are like somehow gods, you know, the taxi dancers and everything. Like they came into this room with this attitude already. I was like, what is their job? So yeah, and then I found out they're here to dance with the girls. And this was also very new for me. But yeah, later it became normal, and I made my way very fast actually. So because I went as much as I could to parties. I think every week, like more times per week, I went dancing. So I think that's also a good way, for me, it was a good way to level up fast. Yeah.
And yeah, let me hear from you, Karl. What was your beginner stage like?
But I wanted to ask, where are you from, by the way?
Hey man, I'm in the military. So right now I'm in Guam. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, it's right near Australia, right? Kind of near Japan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super small island. Unfortunately, they don't have any Kizomba out here. It's very unfortunate.
Okay. It is very far from here.
So yeah. Tell me about your beginner stage, though. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So me, I started in a gym because I subscribed to a gym with my friends to have muscles and everything. And soon they started to bring Kizomba inside. So I said, Kizomba, Zumba? No, it's not Zumba, it's Kizomba. So I said, okay, we will try. It's next week. What, on Tuesday? Okay, then we will try. So what this is. But before I do my first class, I was already watching a lot of videos on the basic steps because I hate to be the last one in class. I hate to be, back. I like to know what I'm doing. So before I did my first class, I was learning already the basic steps, Saida, the women Saida, the men Saida, 𝒊𝒏𝒔𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏𝒂𝒍 and everything. And then I did my first class with one of my best friends. And the teacher was like, are you sure it's your first class? Because how you can do already know this? I said, yes, it's my first class, but I just did my homework before I came. So then it was very easy. The first classes was not so hard. But then when you go into the intermediate level, it starts to become more complicated, and I wanted to stop for a moment, to stop Kizomba, because for me, it was too hard. The steps, when I was seeing, it was because of my first party, because then I subscribed in a dance school to learn Kizomba, in a real dance school, because I was really motivated to learn with professionals and people who do only this. And they did a party of the school. And this first party was very bad for me because I was not ready actually to go to this party. The level was too high. So I was down. I was saying, okay, I will stop because actually it's not for me. I will never be like this. But I don't know how. I kept going, training, and then finally it became easier.
I want to ask you both individual questions, but let me ask you this, Carl. You said you were not ready for that social, for that party. So let me ask you this, for advice for other people. How can someone know when they're ready to go to a social?
Very good question.
Yes.
It's a very good question. I think actually, I think there is not an absolute answer to this, because I know some people, the first Kizomba contact that they had was directly in the party. So they never heard about Kizomba, they came to the party, they liked, and then they came back again and stuff. And there are some people who were traumatized by their first experience, then they stopped Kizomba for a while, then they came back. So I don't know. If you're a person like me who hates to be under people, or to be late, or to this kind of stuff, it's better for you that you at least masterize your basics, at least that you have some kind of steps, that you know how to be fluid a bit in your dance, and also go with your friends to the parties. Go with your friends, don't go alone, because when you're tired of dancing, or when you don't want to dance because you don't feel comfortable, at least you can talk with someone, you can dance with your friends of the school, of the class. You're not alone, so it helps. If you go alone, you have to be strong.
Let me ask you both a follow-up question. Like you said, certain people they get introduced first to Kizomba through a social. I want to hear from you both. What are your thoughts about learning a partner dance? Well, to simplify it, what are the difference between learning through a social and learning in classes? Talk to me about that.
You want to start on?
No, you can't start.
So what I experienced is that when you are, because there are many followers who are not taking classes, who are going directly to dance. Because yes, I admit it's easier for a follower to learn it than as a leader. That's true. But if you don't go to classes, so it means you don't have the basics, you don't know the rules, you don't know how to act in specific moments, like in special steps, or I don't know, then your level will stay in one line. You will never can go more higher, it will stay here because you don't know how to use the basics and the rules. But if you go to the classes and you know what to do, so then you can go much higher because you know how to do it better, So that's my opinion.
Yeah, and there is a lot of girls who told me with a lot of pride, because I said, "Oh, but you're not so bad. You're actually a good dancer." And she tell me with a lot of pride, "Yeah, and I never took classes." I said, "Yes, I can see that you never took classes because there is a lot of mistakes that I don't tell you about. But it's for someone who never took classes. It's okay. It's okay. You have to say it's okay."
There are some better dancers. There are some not so good dancers.
Yes. So there are some people, some girls, especially the girls, because the girls, as I said, she don't need to memorize really a lot of steps. She don't need to do all these things as the leaders. But there is some things I know that you don't know about this technique. I know that you don't know about this rule. I know that you don't know about this fundamental because you didn't take classes about it or you didn't hear. And this is visible. So it's really something that people should know. And even when a girl said, I never took classes, okay. But she was dancing with a lot of experienced dancers who gave feedback during the social dance. So it's kind of classes, but not in the same form, but it's still kind of teaching. So they had a teaching from someone during the social, okay, and this plus this plus this plus this, it made her the level that she has. But she had, like, she received
almost like a private, right?
Yeah, yes, or like almost like a private. So it's not that by herself she just guessed all the technique and all. No, she had feedback from experienced people, like teachers, I don't know, and that's why she danced like this.
Let me ask you both this question. I want to hear individually from you both. Tell me this: what traits, what characteristics do you enjoy from a lead and a follow? So, Karl, what traits do you look for in a follow that you enjoy? And Nima, what traits do you look for in a lead that you enjoy dancing with?
Start.
Me?
Yeah.
Because you want to listen what I say. So, for me, okay? For me, Karl, you cannot say. For me as a follower, what I like, of course, the most, I think what I like is when he is dancing to the beat, okay? It doesn't have to be like really musicality, like kitchen everything, but at least dance into the music, okay? This is already a big thing for me, what makes me enjoy the dance, even if his level is not so good, but then I can enjoy the dance at least. And of course, if he is trying to adapt to me a bit also. When he starts, okay, when we never saw each other, never danced with each other, he's trying his stuff. But if he see I doesn't feel so good in it or it doesn't work so well, that he changed a bit, that he adapt a bit to me, yeah? So that I feel more comfortable in the dance. And of course, the respect of the distance, because there are sometimes a lot of problems with girls where they say, oh, it's too much to intimidate, the touches were too intimidate and everything. So the respect for the follower is also very important for me. So yeah, I can say these three things for now are the most important. You?
Me, where I can start? For me, it's important. The most important for me is that the girl or the follower is independent, because actually independent in the dance, it means that normally when you dance with the experienced follower, you don't need to push her back or to pull her back or front to make her move like normally. If she has a certain level, it's enough normally to be light and to do like movements or to go left and right, and you don't really have to use strength or your arms and everything. And this is a technique that a lot of people don't really have. They don't realize that most of the time you have to carry the girl to the left and to the right, to this. But normally, when you dance with a very good follower and you're like, why is she so light? Why is this girl so light compared to the others? And then you realize that when you take off your hands and you just do the same moves, she's able to follow, because she don't need you to pull her or to push her somewhere to follow or to walk. She has this technique and she has the fundamentals which make her dance that way. For me, this is already very important, but I can understand that not everybody has this technique because it's hard. And for me, this is pretty much it. Of course, we dance on the beat, but as a leader, you can sometimes try to force it in a way.
You have more control about it.
And yes, the connection also. that we don't have to always, when you dance with a girl that is very, very, very far.
So that you always disconnect and have to try to find the connection again. Yes. Disconnect, connect, disconnect.
Yes.
No?
Yes, it is. And a bit different for Nima, because she said she liked when the leader adapts to the follower. But me, I'm special. I don't say to people do like me, but I never adapt to any follower. I always do what I do. Like I always try to do everything I do with everybody. I don't care if you're a beginner, if you're intermediate, if you're I try, and by doing this, it allowed me to really improve my leading skills, because then I know if it doesn't work like this, maybe it works like this, and then it forced me to always try to find solutions to lead some steps without being violent or in the force and everything. So this helped me a lot to really fix my leading on a lot of stuff. That of course, if I see something is really, really not possible to do, then I don't keep going. But I will keep my style even if I dance with a beginner. If you see me like dancing with a beginner, you will see it's me. I will not do she's a beginner, so I'll just do basic steps, side and then thank you for the dance. I don't like to do this.
I definitely understand that. I definitely do. Nima, I want to go back to something you said earlier. You said that it's easier. I think you say it's easier to learn for a follower than a leader. I don't want to misquote you, but I guess, can you go into that? What do you mean by that? Are you saying that in the beginning it's easier for the followers, and as they progress it gets more difficult, or is it always easier for the followers?
No, of course. I mean, when someone wants to start to dance, and it's easier because she actually don't really know how to do a step, because the leader will guide her normally. So that's why, just because of that, it's easier to start into the dance for a follower, because she just has to follow, but just for the beginning. So for later, it's a different thing.
I'm curious, Karl, what do you think about that? Do you think the leaders have it more difficult in the beginning? Do you agree with that?
Yes, I think so, because when you're a follower, you have to learn the basic steps, the following skills, and your goal would be to recognize what the leader is trying to lead you. But when you're a leader, you have to learn the same things, so the basics. You have to learn how to dance it on the beat, and you have to learn how to be fluid between the steps. So after this step, so what can I do? Then you have to know like what to do. And after this, so what can I do? And you have to learn how to lead it, how to adapt the leading skill according to the partner and everything. So of course, there is a bigger work of memorization for the leader that the follower don't have, really. Like for the memorization, she has less. But of course, the more you go up, the more it becomes to be very hard to be a good follower, because following is not enough. Because when you take a video, you realize that following is not enough, because now you're very ugly in the video. So this is this. And we are way more complicated and hard on how look the follower against how look the leader. So the more you improve, the more the follower has to put a lot of work into the how she looks, the aestheticism, the lady styling, without be annoying for the partner, the moments where you can use it, the moment where you cannot. And this is very, very hard actually for the follower. But this can come after.
I definitely agree with that, honestly. So I've been a leader in Kizomba for maybe about 6-7 years now. And I try to get in the following, but oh my goodness. Trying to be a follower is very difficult. And like you said, Karl, how some follows can be heavy in lead and some can be very light. As a lead myself, when I follow, I'm super heavy. So like I gotta practice that technique myself, man. So I definitely understand that. Let me
because I started to lead also now, like I think 4 months ago, something like this. I started, so he teach me. And when I dance with him and I dance with other girls, there was a huge difference from the lightness. He's of course much heavier as other girls,
Yeah,
but it's normal. So it's normal.
Yeah, it's a different body, but I try to work on my
Your lightness.
my skills of follower.
So I want to say this as well. So you know, I do salsa and everything. I do salsa, bachata, kizomba, a little bit of Brazilian zouk, but some of the best dances I've had are the people who are good at both leading and following. Those people are exceptional dancers because I think they understand both sides of the dance. So, you know, in my opinion, those have been some amazing dances.
Mm.
Let me ask you this real quick. So I believe you all specialize in urban kids. Is that what you would call yourselves?
Yeah.
Tell me this. I know this may be kind of controversial in some circles, but tell me, in your opinion, what is the difference between urban kids and Kizomba? Can you put that into words for me?
This question always.
Yeah, like for me, the difference is already into the music because actually Urban Kiz is born just because of the evolution of the music. It's just it's a new like adaptation of the Kizomba steps on a new style of music. So this is actually it. You can see in Kizomba and Samba, you're more into the floor because the music influence you to do this, to be like this, to move like this. When you hear it, your body wants to do this. In Urban Kiz, the music is more electronic, strong.
Got that heavy bass, right?
Yeah, like the heavy bass and everything. So it influences you, it guides you to move different, of course. So yes, you will be more straight. You will
More sharp,
more sharp, faster because and everything. So it's just an adaptation of the music. And now you can see in Urban Kiz parties, they put now a lot of kind of how to say Afrobeat style. What is the name of this kind of style from Nigeria? What is the name of the music of Nigeria? There is a special name for them.
I'm not sure. I don't even know, man. I wish I could tell you.
Yes, anyway. So for now, like you see in Paris, there is a lot of Afrobeats now, and you can see it in the dance, that the dance is now kind of going back to an African kind of dancing. You're a bit more in the flow because the music show you like this. So you see like kind of new way of moving in the dance, and it's like this actually. It's just that according to the music, of course, you will adapt your dance to it. If it's more African, you will be more maybe in the floor. If it's more European or American, I don't know, it will be different. So for me, it's just this.
I get you. I understand that, man. I definitely understand that. Let me ask you this, Nima. You said, you know, one of the traits you admire in a good leader is, you know, they're on beat, they dance to the beat. Let me ask you both this question. When I say the word musicality, what does that mean to you?
Musicality. It's a very big word, actually. Because I also saw that many people experience musicality in a different way. So, yeah, for me, at least, musicality for me is actually already when you dance in the beat, okay? This is already for me, okay, you have the musicality, you dance in the beat, in the counts, however. And of course, there is a higher musicality. Maybe you know Litwins. You know maybe this the brothers, the twins, the twin. They are very famous.
I think I know you're talking about. I think so. Yeah, the
Two
hip hop
black guys.
dancers, or
Hip hop dancers, yeah.
yeah, they're
They
nice.
are like really, really, when you watch their videos, okay, they catch everything in the song, what you can hear, you know, like everything. Like this is okay, this is for me high level musicality. They catch everything, okay? So you can see it as you want. If you prefer like really high quality musicality, okay, it's like this. There are some dancers in Kizomba who really try to catch everything, and it's also possible for them, for some, but for some means already musicality just to dance on the beat and catch some small things, you know. This is already also a musicality for me. I don't know how you think about this.
No, I remember that we had a lot of debates about what musicality is here with my friends, because actually it's not that simple if you want to go into the details. Like some people said, the musicality is just the interpretation of the music. So if you're acting in the dance, for example, you're acting in the sadness, it's a musicality for some people. For some people, the musicality, they say, if you, for example, as Nima said, if you take the details in the music, it's a musicality, but if you dance on the beat, it's also a musicality. So the musicality is just the way you will dance on the music, like you can say. And there is no good or wrong like musicality. There is just a personal way to take it. Of course, it's better for you that if you dance on the beat because you're two. So at least we can be agreed on this, and it will be easier if you're off beat. Then you cannot really say, no, it's my musicality. No, there is some rules we can say, and it's easier for both if you can be agreed on this to dance together.
I definitely understand that, man. Let me ask you a follow-up question there. How does one improve their musicality?
A good question.
How does one improve?
Yes, how you improve your musicality, Nima. So how do you improve your musicality, Nima?
I was used to say back in time that either you have it or either you don't have it. So it's a thing in you. Either you hear it or you cannot, you know. But
so you're saying that musicality is not something that you can learn?
This actually, I was asking this myself also, if it's something to learn, because to be honest, I don't know the answer for this. I don't know if you can learn it, because I know some people who are really trying to learn it and they want to do everything for it, but it doesn't work. So I don't know.
Are they beginners? Like, how long have they been trying?
No, they dance already many years.
And they still don't have musicality? Are they dancing?
Yes.
Are they off beat? Or
maybe it's because they always stay with the same people, same teacher, in the same scene, you know. They are not traveling a lot, but I also know the opposite, traveling a lot and take classes also about musicality, but it doesn't work for them when I see them dancing. I don't know. So maybe more, I think that it's not learnable.
Is that something you agree with, Karl?
No, for me, because I had a friend, but Damir, when I know him from the school, like before Kizomba, and before he had really no musicality and really no any kind of bond with this kind of music, and to recognize details in the music, to recognize a 1, a 5, 6, 7, 8, nothing. But I spent maybe years by going out with him and sometimes dance in the streets, just like that. And he was looking at me dancing on stuff that he never heard. Like, he know the song, but he never heard. And like, so he became more sensitive by watching me dancing this way. and explain to him, oh, there is this, you didn't hear, like here, no, oh yes, I never heard it. And years after years, then he became someone very like musical. And when when you see his videos now, you know, like you see that he's someone very musical. So for me, it's possible, of course,
but for everyone,
to learn it. For me, it's possible for everyone, but it can be longer because when you spend years without giving any kind of attention to this, of course, when you arrive and you're an adult, you have 26 years old, and now you realize that the music is not just something that you hear like that. No, there is stuff in the music. Then, of course, it's difficult to become directly like this. But I think it's possible, but they just have to work in a way to have it. But I think,
okay, I think I agree with you, Karl. It might come more difficult for others, but I do believe it's a learned skill. I'll just say that. I want to ask you, Nima, going back to your hip hop background, I'm very curious. How do you think your hip hop background influences your Kizomba style, if at all?
I think it was helpful for me in the dance because through this hip hop, because I went all the time and I took classes in hip hop, I felt the music more. So it was, for me, I had a bigger connection to the music and it was easier for me to move to the music. So then this helped me a lot to take it later for Kizomba as well. And I think also because I really love the hip hop music, hip hop style, that I got more into this Urban Kiz world, which took me, to Urban Kiz. And sometimes even I even hear from people, but did you dance something else like hip hop or something? I say, yes. But actually for me, I don't know how you can see that in Kizomba because it's not so visible. But for me, it helped me to be more in the music, to enjoy the music, and it makes me much easier. It let me dance easier, actually.
Okay, I something I figured having a hip hop background would definitely make it more easy for you to learn. Is what I imagined, at least. So I definitely understand that. I wanna ask you all this real quick. Before I forget, how did you all meet?
What?
How did you all meet?
How did we meet?
Yes.
That's very simple, nothing special. We had a booking together. So he was a taxi dancer and I was booked with a friend for lady styling. So we was at the same festival in Munich, in Munich. And right before I found his videos and I was already like, this guy is different. He dance special. I like it. So I want to dance with him. And I was also in this moment searching for a dance partner very, very badly, already a long time. So then I thought, okay, maybe this is my opportunity to have a new dance partner. Maybe he's interested. So then we saw each other there. What? Then we saw each other there. So we were dancing for the first time. And it was very good, I can say. The connection was there. We danced a long time at the end. Because he was always very busy with other girls, everybody wanted to dance with him. So I had to wait. But then I catched him and we had good dances, fast and slow. And then I asked him, but unfortunately he was not available for dance partnership. So yeah, then I was sad and that's it. But you can continue then.
Oh, then, because at this time I was already in a partnership with Joanna, it's my ex-partner. But then, so when she asked me, I said, fortunately, it will not be possible. But I was very flattered because for me, she was a star. I was seeing her only on Instagram with a lot of followers and a lot of views with very big personalities in Kizomba. So I was very happy that she asked because I said, okay, maybe I don't dance so bad if Nima is asking me to be in a partnership with her. So Then my partnership with Joanna ended up because she put herself in the bachata world, because basically she was a bachata dancer. So then, as soon as she told me this, I said, "Bon, okay." So Nima Kiz told me that she's interested by. So I said, "Yeah, okay. So for you, it's still okay. Your proposition is still on."
Yes, still.
And then she said, "Okay." So I said, "Okay, let's try to do some classes to see how it is." And yeah, it started like this.
Okay. Let me ask you this real quick. For people who may not know, I want to ask. I guess I don't. Do you taxi dance at all, Nima?
If I taxi danced?
Do you?
What do you mean?
Are you a taxi dancer?
If I were a taxi dancer?
Like, are you? Do you do that? I'm asking. Okay, so Karl, it's just you then. So Karl, let me ask you this, man. One, tell me, for people who may not know, one, tell me what is a taxi dancer, and two, what is it like to be a taxi dancer? Talk to me about both those things, please.
Yes, I was a taxi dancer. So what is a taxi dancer? Is when you go to the party, sometimes it can be complicated for beginners, for people who don't dance a lot, to enjoy the party. So they talk about taxi dancers to fix this problem. So taxi dancers are dancers who are there to dance with the beginner people, like normally. The beginner people, the people who don't dance a lot, that you can see they are sitting since a long time. So they are here to make that everybody have a good party. So there is nobody who go back home and say, "No, I really didn't like this party." So normally the taxi dancers are made for that, to satisfy everybody, and that nobody is left behind. So normally it's beautiful students.
And so talk to me, what is it like being a taxi dancer? What is that like?
Full-time job.
No, being a taxi dancer, at the beginning, you feel very proud, and you feel you have a big responsibility, because you don't realize that because of the taxi dancers, like taxi dancers saved a lot of girls' party, for example, or a lot of guys' party, especially for the guys sometimes, because when you don't know how to lead, when you don't have a lot of steps, it can be very, very, very complicated for the guys, and also for the girls, because sometimes there is too much girls. So the taxi dancers really have a big, big place in the scene. It's very important. And when you're a taxi dancer, it's good at the beginning because you take this responsibility and you feel very flattered about this responsibility, but it can become sometimes, of course, there is always a good side and a bad side. It can become sometimes hard to go one girl after another and everything. Sometimes you just tired, but you cannot stop because your shift is not over. Stuff like this. But of course, there is advantages for the taxi dancers. They don't pay the party. They have advantages. They are not paid most of the time. They are not paid. They don't have a salary to doing this. But yes, they have advantages, and I think they need maybe more respect from other people, because it's not easy to be a taxi dancer. It's something which can be difficult, and because of taxi dancers, a lot of people have a better party that they would have if they wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Definitely. Let me ask you this real quick. I should have asked you before we started, but are you all full-time dancers?
No.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Since Monday.
For me, never, but for him, since Monday.
Okay. You got a new job recently or what?
Yeah, I had a new job. It's very fresh. So now I'm a normal ass guy. Normally, you have like a regular job and everything, but because like at some point with the COVID and everything, it can be complicated to just count on the dance to live and to pay the bills. So yes, I'm doing this now. We will see for the future. But for now, yes.
Okay, I understand. Let me ask you this real quick. For a dance couple that want to, make it big on Instagram, on Facebook, on social media, what advice would you have for them? How could they stand out from everybody else? How have you all been able to stand out from the pack? Do you have any advice on that?
Yeah.
Be different in the dance, in your style. I mean, if it is your question, what
how to do
it? Yeah, be different. Like, you can explain this better.
But how did you do for what you had
before you?
Or you just had like
no, but I don't know, maybe because I was very, very motivated, so I gave everything to go higher and higher and higher, because some are just going maybe once per month or just once in 2 months. But me, I went really like every week, every weekend, everywhere, and I tried to introduce myself also to everyone and dance with everyone. So, and I had also a luck, I have to say, because a very, very famous star dancer, Jojo.
Definitely, I've had her on the show.
Yeah, because he asked me to dance together for a couple of times. So this was also my jump a bit to be different.
Okay, I'm thinking of a female named Jojo. I don't know a male named Jojo. Never mind.
And you don't know?
I know a female named Jojo. I've had her on the show, not a male.
Jonathan Mahuto.
I don't think I know him. I don't think I do.
Okay. He's a most of the famous guy in Urban Kiz. Yeah. Okay, so after you can search for him.
Hey, bet. I don't want to hold you all too much longer. Can I ask y'all like just a couple more questions and you just give me some quick answers? All right, real quick answers, okay? What advice would you give to a beginner who feels like they're stuck in a beginner's rut? They're not getting better.
For me, you have to stop going to, if you feel you're stuck, so it means that you already tried to practice a lot in parties and everything. After this, what can help you, it's really to stop going to parties for a while and just make trainings with few persons or just one girl if you're a guy or one guy if you're a girl. When you train with this person alone, you cut the music and you dance without any music. And when something is wrong, you say, okay, so why here you didn't understand how, okay, you did it like this, okay, so now I will do like this because, okay, now it's very clear you're reading, okay, this. And then you say, okay, now I show you all my steps. So what can I do now? Wait, let's try to test new steps and everything. Then you do it, and then you repeat, and then you really improve in a very real way, not in a, you did something in a party without thinking, it worked, okay, but then after you never do it again because it's forgotten. So to do the trainings, get out of bit of the parties, take someone and train in a regular way. Like me, I did a challenge because I was feeling the same, that I was stuck. So I did a challenge for 30 days to make every day one training of 3 or 4 hours every day for 30 days, 1 day to 2 days, 3 days, every day with different girls because not one girl is available for 30 days. So I had to ask many girls during 30 days without any break to make a training. And this made me improve a lot. Because if you count how many hours it makes at the end of the month, then it's very useful. So this is my advice.
For me, very quick, dance different dance styles. For example, tango or bachata or whatever. This brought me a bit out of my comfort zone and made me look brighter, look more open around me. So it helped me.
Okay, so yeah, cross training. Cross training is definitely very valuable. I definitely understand that. For someone who wants to be for someone who is an intermediate dancer and they want to get to that advanced level, what is required of them?
Trainings. What is an advanced dancer actually?
That's a great question, bro. I don't know. What is it? I don't even know. I don't know.
No, it depends. I think it depends like where you live. It depends who you're watching. You can say what is an advance.
What is your goal also? What is for you advanced?
But I think if we stay simple and we say if you're intermediate dancer and you want to become advanced, or if you just want to become better, for me, you can take private classes. Then you will see in a very clear way what maybe is wrong with you or what you do wrong.
What is wrong with you?
Yes, what is wrong with you, or what you do wrong that you thought you do good. For me, when it starts to become too advanced, there is also a part of aestheticism, how it looks now with your dance. Because before it's okay, you dance in the dark, in parties, it's okay, like nobody sees you. But when it comes to advanced level, for me, the way it looks is also important. Now you have to pay attention to your line, you have to pay attention to your posture, of course before too. But we know that these kind of basics, you learn them when you're a beginner, but of course it's not masterized perfectly until you become like an advanced dancer. So you come back always when you become advanced to the basics. So yes, I think yes, you should make trainings the same way I said, trainings with someone or with a small group of people to work on this, on how you look, on the technique, of the precision of the steps, of the variation of the step, and yes.
Okay, that's perfect. Do you have anything you want to say, Nima?
Nima?
To the same topic?
Yeah, just curious. Do you have anything else you want to add to that, or are you good with that answer?
Yeah. In my case, what me helped, I always danced, of course, with the high-level dancers. For a follower, it works. So for me, it worked. I always try to dance with them who are really, really good in their job, who know what they're doing. So also private classes, of course, but then I somehow knew what is right and what is not good, because sometimes they corrected me also, and they know what they're doing. So who doesn't know if they don't know? So this helped me a lot to improve.
Okay, and let me ask you this last question I have for you. Last question. Let me hear from both of you all. What is one tip that can make anyone a better dancer immediately?
Never think that you're good enough, for me. That you don't lose the willing to learn more. This is for me a very good tip. It's a good question.
It's a good question. You have good questions in your island.
Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Me, I would say it's complicated to just say one answer, but I can say just one small story of a girl. I was in Karosri, I was taking a class of ENA, I don't know if you know. And then normally I was a beginner, but I wanted to try to do the intermediate class. So I was not so good, and I was always complaining, like, oh no, I'm not good enough. I'm not. This is not made for me. I was really, I was really annoyed. And this girl told me, and I remember until now. I don't even remember her name because I didn't know her. But what she told me this day stayed in me until today. She said, I don't want to hear you again talking about how bad you are. I don't want to hear this kind of thing. I want you to be confident because what you already have, there is a lot of people who don't have already the level that you have. And there is other people in the other room who are taking beginner classes, and you're already here trying to manage to get better. So stop doing this because you already have a very good level. And she just told me this, and this is, I don't know, it's changed me in a way to really be more confident in what I do, in what I am, in what I have already, and to keep going. So I would say it's normal to begin somewhere. It's normal to be a beginner. The where you're planning to go is more important than where you go now. So for me, it would be this, like to have goals that you want and to be regular in your trainings. That's it.
Yeah. I like both those answers. Always being a student is super, super important. Always being willing to learn, never getting too arrogant. And like you said, confidence is super, super, especially for a lead. Confidence is probably one of the more, in my opinion, I don't know, I don't follow, but confidence is for both. Being confident, it's a turn on, and then it makes for a clear lead as well when you're confident you make that decision, right?
Yes,
So I understand that.
yes, you lead better because when you start, you don't even dare to really lead because you don't dare to do something really. So you're making half leads, half steps.
And it's confusing.
Yeah, it's confusing. And when you're confident, it's like the follower can feel it that you know exactly what you want to lead, and this makes you have a better leading also.
And so when you're confident and you know what you want to do, that also makes the follower feel more secure, maybe, or maybe more comfortable in your lead. So yeah. Confidence is super huge. At this point, I want to thank you both so much, Karl and Nima, for taking time actually to talk to me. I really do appreciate that.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course. Real quick, tell me this. Do you all have any upcoming events, anything you want to plug, anything you want to share?
We are preparing, we can talk about this. Yeah. We are preparing online classes for next year, not January, because we are a bit late because of COVID and everything. But we are preparing online classes, and the goal is to create kind of a dictionary online. So to put every kind of steps, every kind of variations possible online that people can have and learn it. So if I have a question, or if I have I want to know how to do the pivots, then I go on the application or I go on the site and I find all the kind of pivots possible that you saw or that you never saw. So it's a huge project. It will take a lot of time. Maybe middle of the year, next year, maybe end of next year. I don't know. Okay. Of course, it will be updated because there is every day new stuff, or every month new steps, new stuff. So it's a big project. We'll see how is it going.
Okay, that's awesome. I'll be looking out for it. And real quick, tell me this: how can people get in contact with you? How can they reach out to you? What are the best ways?
Instagram, Facebook,
and on the festivals also.
The festivals where we are teaching. Just Instagram, Facebook, 𝒂𝒓𝒏𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏𝒂𝒍, Nima, Nima Kiz. And yes, we are very open. We answer. I answer.
Me too.
Sometimes I answer to everybody. And it depends. You have to be. It depends. Sometimes she answers. Sometimes she doesn't answer.
Dude, no worries. I'll make sure I put all your social media handles in the description when I upload this. All right.
Okay.
Shoot. Like I said earlier, I want to thank y'all so much. I think this will do it for this episode of the 𝒊𝒏𝒔𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏𝒂𝒍 podcast. Thank you so much, Karl and Nima.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Hey, shoot.
That's all it is.
Hey everyone, if you made it this far to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much. My overall goal with making these interviews and these episodes is to give a voice to dancers, to give them a platform to speak their story. So if this is of value to anyone, then that means the world to me. My overall goal is to give value to the dance community. So if you find no value in this, then I urge you to please let me know where I can improve on. I truly want to, just give value and content to the dance community. So please let me know how I can improve, where I'm messing up, because to be 100% honest with you, I'm learning along the way as I do this. I truly am. So to be able to interact with the dance community, it means the world to me, because it gives me feedback and it lets me know what I'm doing right, where I can improve upon, what I'm doing wrong, which I feel like might be more important. So please, if you all could comment and just let me know what you think, it means the world to me, because that feedback just helps me improve. So please comment as well. Please like and subscribe. That means a lot as well. But I want to say thank you so much for just watching this, because it means the world to me. I want to take you on this journey of the 𝒊𝒏𝒔𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏𝒂𝒍 podcast. I'm very excited for it. So once again, thank you so much.